Recording HQ 120. All right, here we go. Three, two, one. It's Tim Albright with AVNation with an ISE 2020 special. What we're doing is we are previewing Integrated Systems Europe 2020 comes your way February 11th through the 14th from the beautiful city of Amsterdam one more time at the RAI. And with me to talk about Just Add Power and their stand, Mr. Taft Strickland. Welcome, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Comes as no surprise for anybody who knows Taft that he is sitting in front of a bunch of guitars. So those are his and those are real. So let's start there. Just Add Power is in Hall 1, Q as in Queen 120, Hall 1, Q 120. You could make the argument that the Hall 1 is one of the main halls. It's certainly one of the more populous and popular ones. So as we're walking through Hall 1, Taft, what are we going to find in Just Add Power's booth?
So, we've got a few cool new things, especially for the European market. So we have our new 2-gang super thin wall plate, which is less than 1 3/4 inches deep, from the face of the wall plate all the way, full depth. And that's something that all of our European partners have definitely asked us for because, the U.S. is the only one of the few places where they make the walls as deep as humanly possible. And so we're excited about that. It's got HDMI in. It does, does plug, play, present. So you can plug into it, and there's a preset that will allow it to turn the display on. It's great for huddle rooms and meeting rooms. And then our warp engine, which allows us to rotate video all the way down to 0.1 of a degree. So there's 3,600 positions that it could potentially be in. So that's super cool. You can rotate video on one screen, multiple screens, a full video wall, a mosaic wall. And both of these products work with all of our products that we've made for years and years. So we're really excited to show both of those off. And then our config software has had some refinements to it and added some additional features just to make it a little more flexible and a little bit faster. So you can now configure a system, and if you've never done it before and you have to read the instructions, probably 2 minutes. But if you've done it before, you can probably count it down in seconds as far as configuration. So, we're excited. This is a great show for us every year. We're very busy. It's good to catch up with old friends and new friends and show off some cool stuff.
You mentioned that some of the products are made especially for the European market. You mentioned the fact that the thin wall plate, because European construction is not what U.S. construction is. When you guys start talking with your dealers, what sort of feedback do they give you and help you develop products for them, but also ones that you can kind of extrapolate out, not just for the U.S. market, but also for Asia Pac and middle, MEA as well?
Well, it's interesting because we're a big enough company we can produce quickly, and we're a small enough company that we can pivot and move quickly. And honestly, everything that we've developed has come from dealer feedback. Whether it's I need to be able to overlay a custom logo in this pub or this hotel so that we can remind everybody where they're at and do free advertising for the customer, to I need to do multiple images on one screen. I need to do one image over multiple screens. I need a solution to do mosaic and artistic walls, which have become bigger and bigger and bigger in commercial spaces, retail spaces, and things like that. And then our dealers also really initially were kind of the inspiration for the backbone of what we stand for and what we do and produce. And that is to create product that lasts for decades, as versus creating product that, hey, we're at the electronics show. You remember what you bought last year? Well, you can throw it away because we have a new black box. And for us, it's about sustainability. It's about, adding features. It's about houses of worship being good stewards with their money. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And even people that have, tons and tons of money and want to spend it, are always excited when they found out what they bought 2 years ago still works great and they're going to add on. And then being able to let people buy what they need when they need it is also a key feature.
Well, I want you to explain that a little bit more in depth, because one of the things that I find fascinating anytime I talk with you about a new feature, right, a new firmware update or whatever, you guys go back 10 years, 10 plus years now at this point.
Mhm.
Just that Power's been in
Yep.
business. If you release a new feature set, a product that I would have bought as a dealer 10 years ago, I can still update that.
Yes, that's correct.
That's still fascinating to me, and talk about why not just the sustainability, but also what that does as far as in engendering your dealers to you guys as a company and as a culture.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to an integrator the other day who um, he said, I haven't talked to you in like 6 months. And I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, we've been doing some other stuff and we've been doing some, heavy, some, POS implementation and some other things. And he said, we just kind of jumped into a handful of projects that we needed to do. And so he said, I sat down with this customer, started talking to him about the video distribution and the video wall portion of it. And the guy said, yeah. You're going to put the same stuff you put in before, right? At the previous locations. And said, yeah. And then um, he said, we started talking and I realized that it had been 8 years since we had done one of his locations. And he said, and then he reminded me of what city it was in because I couldn't remember. And he said, and it was a decent sized system. It had 12 sources and it had about 60 screens.
Okay, yeah.
And he said, and the amazing thing is nobody from my company's been back there. And this is a customer that's our customer every day of the week on all of these projects and all of these locations. And he said, yeah. And the guy said, well, they've changed our satellite receivers, but they just came in and unplugged the wire and plugged it back in, and everything still works. And he said, we, changed out the DVD player to a Blu-ray player and, yada, yada. So it was fun having a conversation with him where he talked about the first project they did 8 years ago. And then his customer had to pull up and say, it's in this city. This is what it was. This is what you installed. And you haven't been there since then. And then he started talking about some of the features, and he said, we could send somebody out at some point and, just kind of go over things, make sure everything's good, maybe add a few features, talked about, adding another video wall and what they could do. And once his customer realized that it had worked for all this time and now they could add on to it even now without changing everything, he's like, the guy just looked at me and he was like, nobody else does this. He's like, nobody. And, he's like, just nobody does this. We live in a world where, if it has a plug on it, it only has a shelf life or an operating life of X amount of time. Yeah. So, that's, it's an awesome feeling and it's a lot of fun. It's something that we've really worked towards. And, there are a few other people in the world that have done that. As far as, being able to send, updates and keep things current and whatnot. And I think that's a world we're working more and more towards. I think we're just kind of on the front end of it. So I'm excited to see other people do it as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're really empowering your clients to help them and help their clients, and just a continued service, on down the road. So absolutely.
Yep.
All right, sir. Again, Hall 1Q120. 1Q120. Not everybody's going to ISE, even though it may feel like it, the 11th to the 14th of February. So if they're not going and they want to follow along with everything that Just Add Power will be talking about that week, how do they do that?
You can visit us at justaddpower.com. We've got a news section there. Also, if you want to be fun and social, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram as well. So, and justaddpower.com or facebook.com /forward blah, 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 just add power. Remove the blah, blah, blah in the middle. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can find us on all the social platforms and also at our website.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Taft. And for us, for AVNation, go by the website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv, as we also head to Amsterdam, February 11th through the 14th. live from the RAI as we cover ISE 2020, Integrated Systems Year 2020. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.